This is a close-up of the mortise and the footboard. This is one of those things you really don't need to measure. I've got the board off anyway, so this is how deep I want to drill. That will put it into the other side, but not through the other side. So this little flag here will help me decide when it's time to stop. I can also do the same thing with the pegs to make sure they've bottomed out. This hole will be elongated a little bit this direction to allow for movement of the wood. No reason to make it any further out this way. This is going to be a single hole. This one's slightly elongated. Don't have to be a much. I'll just probably put the drill bit in and tip it back and forth, but this hole does need to be a little bit longer in this direction and this. Once I had the top trim cut to length, it was time to reattach the legs. And drill these 3 holes all the way through. I'm going to drill one of these holes at a time. I'm going to drill this top one first, then this one. This one I'm not going to drill right now. This screw will anchor the leg on here. Remember, I have to take the tendon off and elongate the holes on the tendon, but this is one straight through hole because it's in the center, and the center is not going to move. It'll allow movement this way and this way. So the first hole is going to go right here. This wood isn't going to move a lot, so it does not have to be elongated a great deal. Let's take a rasp and just clean it up a little bit. Spade bit also allows me to use this long shaft here to make sure it's going straight. This is the headboard leg clamped onto my table saw just because it's a nice working height. I've already covered this in. I've got it marked off 3/4, 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. So what I'm doing is just take it down this corner, so it will ease into this finial a lot better. I've already done the other one and got it the glue drying upside down. It's been a productive morning. I've got a lot of dust in the air. I just turned off the air filter, and I'm going to just round this off a little bit. Trick is to keep the sander moving, and I went over 3/4, 3/4, and down 3/4. So now that's rounded. It's still a little blocky, but I'll take care of that with hand sanding. While I was waiting for the wood hardener to dry, I thought I might as well go ahead and prime this. So I've lifted these boards up so I could paint under them. If there's any wood movement, I didn't want that bare wood to peek out from under it. There's not going to be much, so I'm not concerned. So far, it looks pretty good. The last piece of trim has just been glued to the footboard. See some glue squeeze out there I need to take care of. I'm going to sand the top of it while that's drying. I'll be ready for some primer in the morning. Well, this is an exciting time. The footboard legs are going to go on permanently. These are the screws I had holding them in. This hole's been enlarged, this hole's been enlarged, and this hole has not been drilled yet. So I just want to make sure that I know about how far these are going to go in. I'll mark those. I'm going to put some glue down in the hole let's see, I'm going to put the glue right down here in this hole, and then we'll put a little bit at the top. So we are ready to do that. Won't be any glue on the footboard, so that will be ready to move should the humidity change. We'll give that a couple of blows with the dead blow hammer. Just about ready to go home. A little glue right there where it's going to go in. And that'll do it. This one then I did not enlarge the hole because it's right in the middle. The wood can move from either side. The only thing left to do is cut these off and go work on the other leg. Finishing up the headboard here. Last step. Everywhere, just like on the footboard, where there could be movement, gets a little enlarged hole. So it's going to be enlarged hole here, and a little bit of an enlarged hole here. The center one, no need to enlarge. And that'll do it. Ready to screw that on. So they'll be able to take this apart for moving it. And that's it, last screw. So I've got the first coat of primer on there, and it raised the grain. I knew it would. And you can see that right here. So now it's resanding to get the grain down. I've got some details to work out. Details like this overhang here, things are going to get caught on that, so I've got to round that over both on the footboard and the headboard. This was the strip that was being glued last evening, so it's not painted yet. The next step is to sand it again, fill in any spots that are looking bad. I've got to deal with that little crack right there, and put the rails on. Progress. Here's another use for these hotel cards. This little trim here is easy to lose. The detail, that's where the grain has come up, and this little credit card works really well to gently get in there. This day has been a long day coming. Both the footboard and the headboard are together. I cannot get enough height or distance in my shop to show you very clearly, but they're together.